Hi, my name is Madison Beam, and this is my reflection on ESCI 302. Before this class, I saw myself as an environmentalist. I could always be found outside, hiking, camping, or giving people general knowledge of how I thought we should be saving our environment. But when I got into the class, I began to think about my ecological identity and how I can put the environment into my classroom. Before this class, I saw the environment almost as a backdrop for my photography. Since I love photography, I've decided to represent my new knowledge of the environment through the photos I have taken. At the beginning of the class, Audrey told us that we would have to use creative journals to represent what we were learning. At first, I thought this would be really easy because I felt like I had a good understanding of the environment. After a while, I realized how difficult it was to show a representation of what I knew about the environment. Maybe I didn't know as much as I thought I did. We did a reading by David Orr where he said all education is environmental education. This is something that stuck with our whole class for the whole semester. This led nicely into our action learning group. We called ourselves the plastics. We decided to look at how much plastic we used in a week and try and reduce that number. We also got to visit Crown Shred, which was a total eye-opening experience. I learned about how they take old plastic and turn it into parking blocks. I also learned that you can pretty much recycle anything. Just people are so lazy that they don't. This really changed my ideas of how I wanted to recycle. And now I hope to use Crown Shred more in the future. I also had the chance to write my mom a letter to say thank you for teaching me how to be an ecological person. Without my mom, I don't think I'd be the person I am today when it comes to the environment. I also learned how to give thanks to the environment and about First Nations views on our land. We were lucky enough to spend an afternoon with Joseph Natauhau, who gave us all some tobacco and encouraged us to give it to a plant and encourage it to grow. I never thought about encouraging a plant to grow, and honestly, this made me feel uncomfortable. But that's a part of the environment and that's a part of education, is making yourself do things that make you feel uncomfortable. I get that now. For my summer job, I am constantly taking school groups out hiking. I never thought about giving a tobacco offering to the land while I was doing my hike, even though I should be doing this every time. So I've decided to make a pledge to myself that every time that I decide to go out for a hike, I will give a tobacco offering and also teach the hikers about how important First Nations culture was to the land that we now call the Sask Landing Provincial Park. We also practiced stillness, which was something that was really hard for me because usually when I was outdoors, I like to be running around, having fun, but just sitting there in the quiet, listening to the environment was something that I wasn't used to. But after doing it a few times, I realized how great it made me feel just to be able to be outside and experiencing the environment. I realized that we should not be keeping students inside. We should be allowing them to go outside and experience our environment. We should be able to bring environmental education into every single one of our classrooms. And we can't do that just by leaving them inside and expecting them to read a book. They need to get out there and experience it for themselves. Now that I'm done this class, I realize even more how important it is to educate students about how important the environment is. They are the next ones to grow up here. And so they need to do what they can to keep it safe. And I need to do my job on educating them and also being a representation for them of how to be an ecological person. I've decided to take the things that I learned in this class and not only apply it to my future classroom, but also to my summer job that I'll be starting in just a few weeks. It's important that I take the things that I've learned over these past few months and share it with my future students and the people that are around me every day.